my best friend Jennifer.
Hi!
And we are making
Lip balm. Homemade, all natural, and very, very simple to make. Oh, by the way, as she said, I'm Jen. I am the owner, creator, designer of Paisley Peacock Boutique. Really interesting name behind the story of how I got that name, but that will be for another episode. Anyway, everybody knows lip balm. It's really good for your lips. It's nourishing, especially in the wintertime when you have all of the dry, cold air. If you've been outside for a long period of time, your lips get chapped because they've lost moisture. So, it's very simple. It just takes beeswax, shea butter, which is very high in vitamin E, sweet almond oil, which also has vitamin A, E, B, as well as essential fatty acids.
And also we'll have the list on the bottom of the page.
Yes. And, sorry about that. And candy flavoring oil.
It's yummy.
Some of them are very yummy, yes. I made a batch in my kitchen at my house earlier this week, and it was bubblegum flavored. I gave it to some of my coworkers and friends to test out, and the first thing that they commented on was the scent and how it smelled just like bubblegum. And one of my coworkers could not get over how soft it made her lips. So today I'm going to be trying butterscotch flavor. It's from LorAnn Oils. You can find it in the candy and baking section. And by the way,
Hobby Lobby.
all of these ingredients came from Hobby Lobby. The Beeswax is the Country Lane brand. And normally, yes, I know you would use beeswax for candles, but with the pellets, it can also be used for lip balms. And beeswax is really good if you have any type of plant allergies or anything like that. A word of caution, though, with the sweet almond oil. I would not suggest that you use sweet almond oil if you have a nut allergy, since sweet almond oil is the oil that is extracted from actual almonds. So again, please note, if you have a nut allergy, you can always substitute it with something like Apricot Kernel Oil. It does the same thing, and it's an excellent substitute for the sweet almond oil. So what we need to do is first we need to measure out our ingredients. Now the recipe I'm using, so first we need to measure out our ingredients. And the recipe that I'm using is one that I actually found on the LorAnn Oil's website. And she's got some, well, the website has some other good recipes as well. I had tried one other lip balm recipe, and it was a complete disaster. So I decided not to try that one again. So this one I had found a little while back, and it seems to work out very, very well. So here's what you need, aside from your ingredients. You need a microwavable measuring cup, measuring spoons to measure out your ingredients, and I prefer a silicone spoon because silicone is pretty much non-stick and the wax will not
stick to it.
Stick to your to your spoon so you can, you know, get more out of your mixture. One batch makes about 8 of these little round pots. I got these at Hobby Lobby.
They're generally in the jewelry section.
No, these are actually
no?
these are in the candle and soap making section.
Oh, really? I have some that are in the jewelry section. Huh.
You can get
Small world.
You can get 18 pieces for $4.99.
Yeah.
But with the 40% off coupon from Hobby Lobby,
which we love.
We absolutely love. I mean, I swear, I don't go into Hobby Lobby without my phone because I know I'm going to need that coupon. And you can get about 8 of these out of one batch. So, you know, hey, really good.
See?
So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my beeswax. I'm not sure if I want to use that end. And just a side note, the beeswax bag only comes in a 1 pound bag. You can't get it any smaller. Sorry, guys. The shea butter comes in an 8-ounce jar. So, and the sweet almond oil comes in an 8-ounce bottle. So what you want to do is you want to take 1 tablespoon of the beeswax and put it into your. No, I don't recommend eating this. I really don't think that would be a good idea. So
bad idea. Don't eat, okay? I was joking about the yummy.
Well, but
it's smelly
guys,
yummy.
On a serious note, do not try to eat any of these products. I don't know what the effects would be of trying to eat any of these products, but seriously, guys, don't.
This is just for your lips.
This is just for your lips, and I am not. I'm going to go ahead, since I put the warning out there. I will go ahead and say that if you eat any of these ingredients, I am not responsible. So there you have it. There's your warning.
So how many?
It's 1 tablespoon each of the beeswax, the shea butter, and the sweet almond oil.
Oh, that's easy. That makes it really easy.
Yeah, it's very simple. Paper towel.
Oh. Hi, we're back.
So yeah.
So now we're doing the
sweet almond oil.
Almond oil. Again, everything is 1 tablespoon. So that makes it really easy to remember.
It does. It really does. So now that I have all of that in there, you want to pop it in the microwave.
Microwave! Ooh, you love microwaves.
We do. They make our life so much easier, don't they?
I know, they do.
So now my hands are oily and greasy, but that's okay.
They're supposed to.
Yeah, it can't. So it can't.
If you want it to be nice and clean, wear gloves.
Exactly. So you're gonna put it in there on 30-second burst, because you certainly don't want. Oh, and also have a pot holder handy,
because it gets hot.
Because the glass gets hot. As we all know, glass is a great conductor of heat. So we're going to start off with just 30 seconds. And the reason we do it...
And the pot holder is right there in the drawer in front of you.
Awesome.
So
the reason we do it in 30 seconds...
Coffee.
What?
Coffee.
Coffee? What?
The coffee one.
Okay, so the reason you want to do this in 30-second burst is because after 30-second burst, you are going to take your measuring cup out. Sorry, you're seeing the back of me.
We still love you.
I know you do. You can't help but love me. We'll edit that out. Is because you're going to stir after each burst.
And it smells good too.
It generally takes it about 1.5 minutes for all of it, for your beeswax to melt into your sweet almond oil and your shea butter. And we are going to pop it in for another 30 seconds. Just remember, caution when taking this out. That's why we have the pot holder. It will get hot.
It's nice because my microwave has a 30-second button, so it's just easy.
Yeah. If your microwave doesn't have a additional 30-second button, then just do your microwave like you normally would. Time cook, 0.30, and start. And you'll need to do that at least 3 times. At least that's how long it took in my microwave at home. Microwave ovens vary. So yours may or may not take a little longer. Or you may need to do nothing but a minute. It just depends on
how fast your microwave
it is. Yeah. So as you can see, it's making sure I'm stirring after each.
See how nothing's sticking to the spoon, which is nice, what you want.
Yeah, I tried this at home with a metal spoon, and yeah, well, let's just say
it's a disaster.
Oh, it wasn't a disaster. It's just I had to scoop the beeswax on it. Now, and some of it's going to get on your spoon. And if it does, it's no big deal. It's going to happen. I mean, you're working with oils and waxes, so it's not exactly. It's like with anything you make, whether it's food or whatever, a little bit's going to stick to your spoon. It's going to happen. I don't know of anybody in America or any other part of the world that when you cook and you have to use a spoon, you don't get a little bit of something on your spoon and you have to kind of sometimes scrape it off with your hand. So this should do it. Well,
be very careful, it's hot.
Yes, be very, very careful.
You might want to put this on top of here so it doesn't burn. No, good. Stir, 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 stir. See how clear that is?
It's going to have a yellow tinge to it because of the oils and the wax.
Yeah, but it's clear. There's no chunks.
No, there's going to be a little bit of wax that will stick to your spoon, but don't worry about that.
Yep.
So now I need to get this in. Okay, so for this next step, you'll have to work fairly quickly because you do not want your wax, and it takes 1 tablespoon of the flavor. And again, you have to be extremely careful with this next
really
step.
Good.
You do not want this stuff to start to solidify. However, if it does, just pop it back in the microwave for another few seconds. I've never used this flavor, so I don't know how well it's going to mix. Some of their flavors work better than others. This may not have been a good choice.
What flavor is it?
It's butterscotch. I don't know if that's on their list, one of their recommended flavors.
It smells good.
Yeah, but it seems to be settling at the bottom. You don't. Some of their flavor oils work better than others. Unfortunately, I left my flavor oils at home, some of which are the recommended ones. So I'm going to work really, really fast to try and see if I can get this mixed in. And it may not.
Would it help putting it in the microwave a little bit?
Yeah, it might. Because I may have to re-solidify. Because some of the flakes go off and you're going to have to put this, we'll put it in for about another 30 seconds.
It's trial and error.
Scoop out your pots, and I can provide a list of some flavors that LorAnn does recommend. These are ones that they have tested, so they know they work. Okay, now that has re-solidified, let's see what we're working with here. As I suspected, my oils went to the bottom.
That's what we don't want happening.
No, you don't want that. You do not want your oils going to the bottom. So this probably is not going to be a good flavor, and it's not. Because see how all my oil is settling at the bottom? That is not what you want. You want your oil to, you want your flavor to be fully incorporated and to your mixture, and you definitely do not want. So let's just give it a few stirs and see what happens. I'm hoping it is pretty well mixed in there. We are going to find out. Oop, and I got a little bit of the mixture on her cabinet. Again, it's hot.
Yep.
So you're going to take it, and you're going to take your container, and yeah, it has settled to the bottom. So this is not one of the ones I recommend. You're going to pour it into your container, and it looks as if on my wax has not set fully melted either.
Be very careful. Make sure you
now,
have
even if you do have,
customization.
yeah, this is not a project that you would want for your kids to do. Now, it seems to be coming out okay, even though some of the flavor has settled at the bottom. I'm hoping that my flavor, and it looks like I only have enough for about 3 out of this batch. So really, this is all there is to it.
Actually 4.
Huh?
You have 4 of them.
Well, no, because all my stuff solidified was down at the bottom. So you don't want, if I can't fully incorporate the rest of it, so I can't get a 4th one out of it.
No, there's already 4.
Oh, there's 4, but I can't. Okay, so I was able to get 4 pots out of this batch. Again, butterscotch. It smells great, but it is not one that I would recommend. Let's see what's happening is the oil that's settling down at the bottom. That is not what you want. You don't want your oil settling at the bottom. It doesn't look good. It's not presentable to customers. Because if you can only imagine, if you're picking this up and they see all this oil down at the bottom, they're not going to want to buy that. To whereas with this, with these others, you can see they're sitting up pretty well. There's nothing down at the bottom. These take about 20 minutes to cool at room temperature. And if you plan on selling these, if you plan on selling these, then you will need to try to wipe off my friend's counter here. First, get the waxy substance off. Yeah, if you're using somebody else's kitchen, like I am, you're using your best friend's kitchen, please do your friends a favor and clean up after yourself. I you know, I love and respect my best friend enough not to dirty up her kitchen. Especially since we spent time cleaning it to even make this video. So again, butterscotch, not recommended. Yes, back to what I was trying to say. If you plan to sell these, the FDA, it's the Food and Drug Administration, has very strict guidelines about any products that you make for your face or your body that are intended for sale. And that is, and let me show you, FDA guidelines. It's the government, people. You know they're strict. So whatever you make to sell for your face or your body has to be labeled according to FDA guidelines. There are no shortcuts around this. If you are caught selling a product that is not labeled, oops. Also, the FDA says that you cannot put any claims on your product saying that it can, cure you of anything, prevent you of anything, prevent you from whatever. No, you can't make outrageous claims on your products. What you need to do is, I bought these labels at Paper Source. They're 1 1/4 inches in diameter. For those of you who don't know what 1 1/4 is, that's 1 1/4 for the math impaired, like myself. What goes on the label that you put on your top is the name, the net weight of your container. In this case, it's bubblegum lip balm. The net weight is 0.48 ounces. On the back, you must list your ingredients. This is essential. In this case, my ingredients that I use to make this product: beeswax, shea butter, sweet almond oil, and bubblegum flavor. Now, you don't have to put the amount that you used of each product, just the products that were used in the recipe. Again, because your net weight of the total amount of your product, including all your ingredients, that's going to go here, because that's how much you got into this one little container. These three are actually solidifying very nicely. Now, there is a little bit at the bottom, but as you can see, it's not bad. I would feel comfortable, would probably feel comfortable selling that. This one, no, absolutely not. So I am going to go back home. I'm going to probably scrape this one out, and I may, we can edit that. So I will be providing a list of the flavored LorAnn oils that they recommended on their website, because obviously, the butterscotch did not turn out too well, so ixnay on that.
Do the worst one. Show them the worst one.
Oh, yeah. Really at worst, when your oils settle,
that's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, no.
You don't want that.
I will be cleaning these out when I get home. So
it's trial and error.
It's trial and error. It's always trial and error with anything you do. So right now I do have a couple of pots of the bubble gum for purchase. Over the weekend, next week, I will be making some more. I'm going to retry my effort at the grape. My first effort didn't turn out too great, but I think I actually used more oil than I was supposed to. So that's my fault. I also have watermelon, and I will try the strawberry. I can look through the sheet, and I'll be buying some more fruity type flavors. I also want to try to find a pumpkin spice type flavor for fall, if anybody likes pumpkin spice. And I know there are plenty of people out there who just love pumpkin spice. Me, not so much. I'm not a fan of it at all.
I'm a fan, like 100%.
So no, I'll be making it for her. I'll be doing a winter line of lip balms because, hey, that's when we need them most. Most of the people that have smelled this, if you are an 80s kid, Gwen, you and I both know what this smells like.
Oh, yeah. We're 80s kid, 100%.
What does that smell like?
Bubblegum.
Yeah, but no,
It's
there was a certain type of
I can't forget the name of it.
lip smackers.
Lip smackers.
For most anybody, this reminds me of lip smackers, which actually, ironically, are starting to make a comeback. Who knew? But what I'm offering you, rather than the lip smackers, is
And it tastes a lot better than the bubblegum.
with the exception of the flavoring, which unfortunately is artificial. I'm not going to lie to my customers. Everything else that you see here is 100% natural. The Beeswax is 100% natural. The Shea Butter is 100% natural. It says that it's a product of West Africa. It's the ultra refined product of West Africa, but it was packed in the U.S. So what they did is they ordered the Shea Butter from Africa and then packed it here.
Where'd you buy it from?
Hobby Lobby. I bought all of this from Hobby Lobby.
All of it from Hobby Lobby.
Yep. Hobby Lobby.
So
My
if you're
favorite
smart,
store.
bring a
Favorite
bunch of
store.
friends and 40% coupons and go inline.
There you go. Because what some people won't tell you about the Hobby Lobby coupon, unless you ask somebody that works at Hobby Lobby themselves, is the coupon can be used once a day per person. In other words, I can use mine, then I could hand my phone to someone else and they could use it, then they could hand it to the next person in line if you don't happen to have the app, which I recommend you download.
It's free.
It's free.
I mean,
We love free. And
free is awesome.
We love free apps. But if not, again, just keep handing it down the line and passing it to your friends. Because, again, it's one person once per day. See? It's good thinking. As far as my Pyrex measuring cup, I got that at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's like $5, a little over $5.
You can pretty much get that anywhere.
You can pretty much get those anywhere. But my measuring...
Even Hobby Lobby has them too.
Yeah. But they've got the 32-ounce one.
Yes, they do.
That's the big one. They don't have the smaller ones.
Well, if you look in there, I got the 32 ounce in there.
Yeah. Well, we don't need a 32-ounce. We just need a 1 cup. My measuring spoons came from Walmart. $1.88. Not going to lie, I'm cheap.
Cheap is good.
Cheap is always good. My silicone spoon here, which is, forgive me, it's all nasty, came from Walmart also, and it was like $2.84. Again, cheap, and cheap. You can probably find cheaper, I'm sure. Well, I'm
Probably
not
at Big Lots.
No, I was actually going to say you can find cheaper measuring
Dollar Store.
spoons and probably glass measuring cups and silicone spoons at the dollar store, but make sure that with your glass measuring cup, make sure that it says that you can use it in the microwave. You don't want to put a glass measuring cup that you can only use on the stovetop in a microwave unless you want it to explode. And I don't think anybody in your family would thank you for that.
It is no fun. Trust me, I've broken a glass.
Oh, really? You have?
Well, actually, Celia. Sorry, Celia, I'm running you out.
That's okay. We love Celia anyway.
We love you. But she put one of the glasses in the microwave with the meat.
Oh no. Yeah, so see, take it from our friend Celia. Make sure your container says microwave safe. I don't want any accidents when you try this stuff at home. Again, your kids can do it because it's an easy project for them.
But make sure
But
they're
make
adults.
sure they have adult supervision at all times. These oils
are hot.
And the beeswax butter and oil mixture will get very, very hot. I do not want to send anybody to the hospital with burns. I've been in a hospital way too many times to count with various injuries. It's not fun.
I still got a burnt mark from the cheese.
I've got a burn mark from my oven from years ago. I was getting.
We are really smart.
I know. Interesting story. I was getting a homemade pizza out of the oven, and my sister was in town, and my arm touched the edge of the oven rack, and my sister, she's smart and I love her, but when she said to be careful and not burn myself, it was a few seconds too late. I said, too late, I've already done it. Might as well go ahead and shout out why I chose the name I chose for my boutique name.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Growing up, I had an uncle. His name was Clyde. And my Uncle Clyde had peacocks on his land. He lived way out in the country, out in Hardeman County. So when my dad would take us out, my sister and I, out to his house for Thanksgiving, we would always come home with peacock feathers. And that has stuck with me into adulthood. It also stuck with me during adulthood that he always told us never to go near those peacock cages. And I think at one point I asked him why, because, hey, I was a kid. I was curious. And he said the reason why us kids were not supposed to go near them, he said, they're mean. So needless to say, we didn't go near the peacock cage.
So how did you find it was all feathers?
I guess they were shed. You know, birds shed their feathers.
Yeah.
Or they had died. Just saying, it's a fact of nature, people. Everything dies, including peacocks. So,
if you don't want to know your kids that things die, don't edit this video.
Yeah, make sure they're not in the room when you watch this. Although, hey, they've got to learn at some point. I'm just being brutally honest. Depending on how old your kids are, you might as well teach them now that things die. Well, you will edit that out. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so one last time, I'm going to let you know where you can buy these products. One, you can also go to gwensjewels.com like page, and also
the Paisley Peacock Boutique like page.
And thank you so much for joining us, and y'all have a wonderful
we hope you had fun.
Mwah!